All right, and welcome back to episode 031 of the OK Podcast, powered by the Strength Co. I'm your host, Grant Broggi. We are broadcasting live, recording live, airing Fridays at 0900 for you military types from the upstate, the beautiful upstate of South Carolina. We are up in direction, north versus south, and we are up in elevation or altitude, the upstate of South Carolina. Today's date is July the 30th, almost the end of the month. The block height is 854.736 on our block clock mini.
Shout out
Zach Copley. Yeah. Okay. Glad to be here. Been a busy month, but we have not missed a single episode. We've made it happen.
We've made it happen. We've made it happen. Absolutely. Even despite Miami trips and Marine drill and
South Dakota. I think I was in the upstate of South Carolina for 8 days in the month of July.
That's not a lot.
And I podcasted 4 of them. So you see where my priorities are at to keep things going. Okay. Let's see what's new. Well, I know Bitcoin 66.
Dude, it hit 70 at least yesterday.
I was a little out of the loop for a while.
Well, you know why? Did you hear what Trump said about Bitcoin?
Well, he went to the Bitcoin conference.
Obviously.
Where?
Of course.
North Carolina? Charlotte?
Tennessee.
Nashville. That's
Nashville.
Right. Yeah. Same.
Yeah. He was up there. It's like when I listened to it, it was like he read all of the history of Bitcoin Twitter memes.
Okay.
And just repeated them. Like he said, Bitcoin's going to the moon.
Yeah.
We're going to fire Gary Gensler, SEC chair, day one.
I love it.
Called everyone in the room high IQ. The list goes on. Yeah, the list goes on. He said that he thinks that, why is the government selling the Bitcoin? We should have a stockpile.
Yeah.
He wants a stockpile of Bitcoin.
In the government.
Hey, we got a lot of debt. It hit
so
35
he talked
trillion.
About it, and then it mooned.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really in real life connect those things, but I'm just saying. I mean, he talked. It went up. Bitcoin said, "I want more winning."
Yeah. All right. I didn't realize it hit 70. I was a little out of the loop. I wasn't waking up to my block clock every morning.
I'm. You know what's crazy?
What's the high? 74.
Something like that.
Yeah, 73, 74, somewhere. Okay. So
I never check the price anymore.
Yeah.
I never check it.
Because you just every Tuesday look at the block clock.
Yeah. I get my updates on Tuesdays when we record this.
Yeah.
But also if anything important happens, like someone will post on X like, oh no, it hit 50 or broke 70 again. And I'm like, okay, we're good. We're back in the game.
We're good. Well, we're up. What did we start at? 44?
It was, something like that.
So it's definitely up. Oh, there's the robots.
66. Okay.
282.
I'll take it though. A soft 70.
I love it. Close to 70.
Round it up.
Let's see. What's new this week? The Biden meme still skyrocketing.
You posted another one, right?
Posted another one yesterday, doing like well above average.
Yep.
It's the one where he's like, I know how to do this job. And it was something about powerlifters. Actually, Connor made that one.
Memes are the message, man.
Yeah. But the other one just keeps going. It's over 20 million.
That is an insane number.
Yeah. And so we got a couple thousand new followers at the Strength Co., who this podcast is powered by.
A couple thousand?
Yeah. So I think we were at like 30 and some change when we posted that, or like just had hit 31, somewhere right in there. And now we're at like 33 and a half.
33. Okay.
Yeah, it's like 2,500 followers. I mean, I can't attribute it all to that meme, but I kind of can.
I mean, just like
20 million views, all the comments, all the sins, like 600,000. Yeah. So you can see like how many times it's shared.
I thought you meant like Jesus Christ died for our sins.
No. That also happened. I thought you meant like zins or not sins.
No. Actually, that's a I've noticed this about accents. So when you say that, I say it just like you. Sinned. So what
are you saying? Past tense? Like I sinned?
If you say the past tense of the word, like in the religious term, sinned.
Yeah.
I say that the same way as SEND. Sinned.
Oh, I don't think I do.
You do.
Oh, sinned?
Sinned?
I would say sinned.
Okay. Well, a lot of people say send.
Send.
Like versus eh.
Sinned would be what you do against God.
Yep.
Full send would be what you do in the weight room.
That sounds, I'll let the listeners decide. That sounds exactly the same. And also
other people say it send.
That
still sounds kind of the same.
Send. And if you're my mom, you say send.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sand.
And also if you say the word anything, I say any, like like it's an I.
Anything.
Versus anything.
Anything. What do you call the holiday before Christmas?
I say Thanksgiving.
So the emphasis is on the giving.
Giving.
Yeah, I always say Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
I'll see you Thanksgiving.
Okay. My mom would say Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Anyway,
there you have it. We've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, but we have thanks.
And full send.
Yeah, and full sin. Lost train of thought. Biden meme went well. Still cranking. Funny that those things work. What else is new? We did the little vlog. I didn't get any inputs because I was gone.
Oh, I just full sent it.
Yeah, you full sent it. It was good.
It did well. I was really thinking about how to
I thought it was going to be terrible.
Yeah. Well, typically vlogs on this channel don't always do the best.
The super fans.
Love it.
We get like 1,000 views and then it's done.
1,000 people who love it.
Yeah.
And then it dies,
and
right?
Then it dies.
But I want to attribute all of this to my genius editing. But sorry, I'm swallowing my LaCroix or breathing it in.
Beach plum.
But yeah. But I was trying to think about like, okay, you have this whole event. How do you frame this video or how you craft this video? So I was like, well, the coolest punchline of this section is you deadlifting with fire and you missing your bench because of the rack, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I had to like just ignore everything else except for the whole build up to that. And then when you hit that, it was like, it's done.
Okay.
Like cut it. I'm trying to like frame it well.
Yeah, it went good. Well, I think last year we called it the best powerlifting meet you've never heard of.
Do you mean we called it the same thing that Massonomics called their video?
Yeah, I saw they called it this year. I bet they don't know that, but they might. But we did it last year.
Really? Yeah, we did it first.
Yeah, but it wasn't the best powerlifting meet you've never heard of?
I think it was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the never heard of is right.
Yeah, but anyway.
But it was cool. It looked good this year. Like the turnout and like all the lifters.
Yeah. No, it was bigger. I don't know the numbers, but it felt like double.
Dude.
It felt like double. So
yeah,
that's a win. Let's see. I just went 7 days without going to the gym.
Oh, full 7.
Yeah, full. Well, I don't know if I lifted last Tuesday and then lifted this Tuesday.
It's debatable.
Yeah. What is that? 6 days?
I don't know. Depends.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I will say, when was the last time you went 7 days without lifting? 6/7.
Probably something Marine Corps related. But last year I went to Fort Hood in the summer for 14 days, but we had like a break in the middle where we were back on the base and there was a gym. Okay. So I think I went probably something similar, like 6 days.
Really?
Yeah, but this is definitely up there. I don't generally go more than 3.
No.
So, but yeah, it actually felt good. It's like, you're like, what? Like I got back yesterday. I was super tired. I went to sleep. And then I woke up today and I was busy and then I was like, what is off? And then I left the gym and I was like, yeah.
I saw you at the gym today.
That's what I needed. Yeah, you did.
Saw you squatting the Mars bar.
Yeah. Back in stock next week. If you're looking for a Mars bar light, injection mold's done. Bars are bent, finishing the chrome sleeves this week. Got to get them back, get them boxed up, and they'll be back in the store. If you're looking for a Mars bar, whenever we tend to go out of stock in them, whenever they come back, they go pretty fast, and it usually takes a couple of days to ship them because they're made in Kansas and it's a small town and it ships like a coffin. So when the UPS truck comes, he can only fit like 5 of them. So if we get backlogged, it might take a couple of days. Don't freak out. But the Mars bar is coming back. What else?
I've still never used the Mars bar. You know that? Am I missing out?
No, don't do it. Don't do it till you need it.
Because I'll never go back.
Because you'll never go back.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you will because you'll just feel like you need to. But yeah, it's great. It's great. I get questions about it all the time. People often ask, how do you adjust the load when squatting with the Mars bar? And the short answer is it's more, just because the bar is even lower. So it's even closer to your hips.
That probably doesn't account for the 20-pound difference though. Like,
what do you mean?
Like if you're going to squat 3 plates on each side for today,
yeah,
you probably wouldn't put 3 plates on each side for the Mars bar, even though it's a little bit better leverage. I think
it's a little bit more actually.
You would add.
So I did 425 today for 2 sets of 5 because my first one back, I didn't want to get too sore. I bet if I was on a straight bar, that would have been like 385.
That is a large difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference. It's probably, what would that be percentage wise? Like 10% more?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. It feels way different.
Okay, so Mars bar, you have to film those for Instagram because it looks cooler because you got more weight on the bar.
Yeah. And you have to film for Instagram because your shoulder doesn't hurt and you can actually squat. So it's like, I have to. I can't not do this. Oh, look at that. It's like a little pop-up. It almost looks like an iPhone over there.
Oh, yeah.
Is there one person there or two?
I know at least Jeff is. We'll see.
Let's wait till Trey pops up. Got a guest tonight. Female type, female lifter, pretty intense one. Excited to have her on. Miss Nova Ward. So we'll tell you all about her in a little bit.
She's jacked.
She's jacked. She's strong. She CrossFits. She powerlifts. She's a Marine. Should be some good conversation. Have some folks asking us for some more female content on the page. Again, 98% of you that follow are men, but we care about the 2%. So we're going to do that. We also got to reformat those like playlists and stuff. I still haven't done that.
Yeah, we got and on the Strength Co.
And what?
And on the Strength Co channel.
What were you talking about?
Okay, podcast.
Oh, yeah. I'm really concerned about those 150 subscribers.
Yeah. Got to organize them.
Yeah. No, on the Strength Co is what I meant. Yeah. So we need some more female content. If you've got female lifting questions, send us to at the Strength Co Instagram DMs. Drop in the OK Pod Instagram DMs. Email us the OK_pod at Gmail. Talk to us on X. If you're a Slack member, you can ask us right there. But we need to cover some more female stuff. It's really not that different if you're a beginner.
I feel like it is the same and then it gets different after the NLP. Is that right? Yeah,
I think the NLP lasts shorter in terms of 3 sets of 5. You got to go to 5 sets of 3 quicker. Most guys probably don't even end up at 5 sets of 3, but women almost always do. I think the press and the bench press act completely different because women have something called breast, which account for a lot of body fat percentage and less muscle mass in the upper body.
Yep.
So those lifts tend to kind of peter out and not perform as well for as long as they do on men. They tend to, level off on men too, just because there's more muscle mass down in the lower half of the body. But men and women both have a lot of muscle mass lower in the body. So it's very normal to see a woman that's been training with a great squat, a good deadlift. When I say great, I mean 200 pounds, mid twos is not like freakish. It's the equivalent of a upper 3 deadlift in a man. Probably not equivalent because way more guys are squatting and deadlifting. But in terms of
what it takes,
not being a genetic freak and getting your numbers up, that's fine. But I mean, it's very rare to see a woman pressing 100 pounds. Possible.
Yeah. I mean, this might be useful for some people listening. So they may relate to it, the 2%, but Kate, my fiance, same thing. So NLP, she's done it for, has it been 4 or 5 months now?
Yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And her squat and deadlift are just still kind of linear, I would say.
Has she missed or has it been like a pretty consistent?
She hasn't missed, but she's missed a deadlift. And
No, I mean so 4 months, is she getting 3 sessions a week or is she getting 3 every 10 days?
It's 2 to 3 a week. Okay. And there's been maybe 2 weeks off because of travel or whatever. Yeah. Right. So as good as an NLP can usually go, right. With real life. Right. And squat and deadlift still going up. Deadlift is getting iffy because she's missed one. I remember she missed a set one time. Squat's still pretty good. We're kind of building back up from her being off a little bit. And then that press and that bench just hit a wall. Yeah. And so I had to get the micro plates.
How small?
That was really useful. Pound? You can make half pound, everything you need to make half pound jumps in between. If you're doing 40 to 45, you can go half pounds all the way between there.
Okay.
So, which I didn't realize, you don't just need a half pound plate. You need
0.25s.
You need 0.25s and 0.5s and 0.75s. Yeah. And 1 point, you
need a bunch in order to make it.
Yeah. To add them together. But yeah. And she's recently started doing, I don't know if you would recommend this, but I since it was a lot and the deadlift was starting to go, and that was kind of a cue for me, said, do 2 lifts a day.
Yeah.
So because I could have done the starting strength thing where you say, I think this is right. Okay. Deadlift every other session. And then in between those on the off workouts, you're doing chin-ups or rows or power cleans, right? Something like that. But she just switched to 2. She just started doing that. She's done 2 workouts like that. And so we'll see how that goes.
Are the squat's still moving?
Squat's still moving.
Yeah. So only downside of that with females is they seem to like tolerate the squat really well. And so it might be worth to keep the squat in on that deadlift. So she could have, let's say Monday and Friday where she squats and presses and benches, but like the deadlift is only 1 set of 5. It's probably not a ton of weight because she's small.
Yep.
And so it might be worth, sometimes women seem to do really well squatting 3 times a week, and they love the results that they get from the squat. So usually it's worth leaving it in, and you might end up making that a light day.
Yeah.
But no, I mean,
she's over 1 to 1, like 1.25 to 1.5 body weight on squat and deadlift.
Squat. So that's good. That's good.
So she's moving, but
has she gained weight? If we can talk about that, no.
I thought she did.
Not even like a pound.
No, she's like holding steady.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I don't know. That's just genes or something.
I thought it was just gonna make you bulky.
That's what happens. You end up with 20-inch pythons on
20-inch arms.
20-inch arms. I have a quick question if we have time.
Yeah, hit it and then we'll let these guys in here.
All right. So best way, a lot of guys ask about grip strength, and we even have Peter Attia talking about how your best predictor of longevity is your grip strength or your whatever.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that feels like a chicken egg problem. Like if you're strong, you're going to have good grip strength. It doesn't mean make your grip strength get better and then you're going to live longer.
Sure.
But it is a good indicator. Like I have a 2-part question. The first is a question. The second is a exciting game. Wait.
I feel like Trey wanted to talk about grip strength.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. He dropped the Peter Attia video in.
Okay. Well, we can pause.
I think we can pause, switch. Let him in.
That was a little teaser.
Teaser. All right. Episode 031 of the
Okay.
Guidons. Podcast powered by the Strength Co. Sponsored by none other than Mr. BW Tax. BW Tax.
Guy.
You know, it's July. It's about to be August this week. And I don't know about you, but when I think August, I think September. And when I think September, I think April 15th. And it is time to get going on my taxes. And whether I'm a small business owner, a Marine, a father, or all of the above, I need someone to help me, and there's no one quite like BW Tax. So thanks for keeping the lights on, BW. We appreciate you. All right, what's up?
Nothing.
So
are we gonna? I think right, just in time for the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic update. Did I miss it, guys? Did I miss it?
Right on time.
Ready to dive right into it. Right, fresh just happened. Definitely not old news.
Nope.
The master of the slides back in
breaking
town.
news
takes me back to Deadwood.
Breaking news. Such an important topic. It's been, top of the news cycle.
Yeah, Wild Bill, I've been on this old outlaw podcast kick ever since I left South Dakota. Listen to all the Wild Bill one. Now I'm in the Buffalo
Bill one. He has his own podcast?
Yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah, he has his own podcast. Yeah.
Wow.
Actually,
cool.
So I think we talked about last week. We went into the number 7 saloon because there was a guy outside. He's like, free show starts at 7:30 featuring Wild Bill Hickok. And we were like, oh, okay. By the way, it's Hitchcock. Everyone in the YouTube comments has told me. I guess they don't really follow the podcast and know that I'm homeschooled. It's Hitchcock, not Hickok. But anyway.
You know Hickok 45 on YouTube?
I don't.
Oh.
Yeah, the gun dude. I know him.
Yeah, the best gun tuber on YouTube.
Fastest gun in the West.
Wow.
But anyway, so we make it through like 15 minutes of this guy's presentation. Diana's like bored out of her mind. And Connor's favorite part was, and there I was in the street, and all of a sudden I shot him right in the chest. And then I heard, hey, Bill. And I went, bam. But I shot my deputy. And so like all weekend, Connor was like, hey, Grant, bam. And then he shot his deputy. And anyway, Connor found the whole clip on YouTube, and it is like identical. Like obviously it's identical. The guy does this over and over and over. He's like 11-minute, 30-second marks when he shoots his deputy. And it was pretty funny. But anyway, also historically accurate. It matched up perfectly with the podcast, Legends of the Old West, I listened to. So, Wild
That's
Bill.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Verified.
Anyway, you feel caught up on the Lift Hard, Live Easy now,
I feel like
Jeff?
I know everything about it.
There you go.
Yeah.
He watched the
Grant won a
vlog. He
medal.
loved it.
Grant won a
yeah,
medal, but we don't know what it was for.
Oh,
Still don't know what it's for.
Yeah.
Just one.
Just
It's either-
overall.
It's either bench and deadlift or just bench.
Did the most hay in the barn, I think is what it was. Most hay.
The hay is in the barn. All right. What we got up in the
coffee.
slide deck? We got about 10 minutes for our guest gets on here.
Is there a slide deck?
You guys want to talk women's rugby? My
Absolutely.
favorite.
Always a slide deck.
Big news in the women's rugby world.
USA won the sevens tournament. First time ever. Did you see the
dang.
final play, Trey?
No.
Do you have any concept of rugby?
I know the sport.
Like,
Football
you know that you-
adjacent.
Yeah,
Like you throw the ball backwards and
Yeah.
you hit people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So usually there's scrums and all this different stuff, but there's, I guess in the Olympics, I didn't know this, but there's sevens league, which is like your smaller, faster people, but it's still kind of similar style of like rucking and stuff. But the goal is just like get the ball out to the wing, which is your seventh guy in a line.
So more
And,
scoring.
go fast. So it's way more, more scoring, more running. But anyway, she's probably like third down the line and gets it and just like trucks two chicks.
I did see
And like,
that.
yeah, should have been
Hell
done, and
yeah.
then just took it to the house. And I was like, "See, this is why you do your squats and your deadlifts."
Twice your fives.
Yeah,
America's best export, trucking people.
yeah, trucking.
They don't wear a helmet, right?
No, usually you tape your ears,
Tape
or
your
there's
ears.
like a little scrum cap that you wear.
And that's so you can hear better.
Yeah,
Do you think
Don't get
NFL
it.
players should wear helmets?
I think the science shows that they should wear helmets.
Well, I asked.
Hot take.
Here's a hot take. Well, I trust the science, but here's my question. Here's my question. Would it be something like if you don't have your helmet, you're gonna change how you hit people? You're not gonna be spiking people with your helmet. Okay, no shoulder pads,
no
no
pads.
helmet. Would it be safer because you can't just bang people's heads against each other the whole game?
No, I do think
As-
there
as
is an
your
argument
arms-
for that, in that like, oh, you have to hit people a little different. I don't know what like the data is on like CTE for retired rugby players and stuff like that. I wonder if it's like
I don't
in line
quote
with
me on this.
NFL or what.
Don't fact check
they can't
me.
remember. So
Oh, okay.
No, they
You're
can't.
good.
Well, don't fact check me. But I think
Grant like
Took
that.
me a second.
Grant like that.
I think that there's fewer concussions and brain injuries in bare knuckle boxing than there is in boxing, and I think it's for a similar reason because you can't just haul off and crack some dude in the cranium without paying a consequence. So you're really like careful. You know?
I read that Harvard study. I think that's accurate. Yeah.
Well,
was it Harvard? I think it was
Yale.
This just in. Back in the day, we played football with leather helmets.
True.
And so, as Jeff once famously said on this podcast, I think we have empirical evidence on this.
People would die
That
back
was with the
then.
Native
in
Americans.
I don't know. I don't know if that's attributed to not wearing
Yeah.
helmets, but there are people that would die.
I do know that in
football.
I do know that in rugby, the collarbone and femur break rate is very high.
femur.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's
Like
brutal.
collarbone, I could definitely see. I can
It's
see probably
brutal.
a lot more like dislocated shoulders.
Yes.
I would think like knee, like torn ACLs and stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Anyway, the women are the champions. What else have you been watching in the Olympics, Jeff?
I haven't watched any Olympics at all. I haven't watched 1 second actually. And I'm pretty disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
Although I guess I did see all the memes
timing. It's the
of
timing of it.
opening ceremony.
that's all I watched was the opening ceremony. And
I
then-
missed it. I was gone.
Oh, you missed it.
Oh,
And then-
yeah. Did you see
What
all
was the problem?
There
You
was.
should just watch it.
I won't get into it.
A lot going on. There was a lot happening.
It didn't look like an opening ceremony to me. It looked like
Say,
something else.
Grant, it's not going to be up your alley.
It looked. It kind of looked
I
like.
know
Up your
what
alley.
it
You're not
was.
going to.
They came out dressed as storm whoopers.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yep.
I think it
are
was more like a
costumes
bar in
involved.
San Francisco.
Bar in
in San Francisco.
I
feel
did see
like.
that Celine Dion didn't show up or something, or showed up late.
Oh. I don't know
That
about
was
this.
what my
She
feed
competing?
said.
Yeah.
She was supposed to sing with someone. She did sing.
Rugby.
She's
Yeah.
on the Sevens rugby team.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I had 2 people roast us last week, and it's Jeff's fault for not being here.
Oh no.
Was last week's when we talked national anthem, right?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
Oh,
ago.
so you
goes
were
2.
here, and we didn't bring up Jack White's national anthem.
Jack White.
I didn't even know he did one.
Did he do one?
Excuse me.
Technical difficulties. Keep going. Jack White.
I don't know this one.
Singing.
What sport? Let's guess.
You really don't know this
No,
one?
I don't. I
recording
don't.
Down the wrong hole. Okay, because we're big Jack White guys.
Oh, I'm really disappointed.
You guys are friends, right?
Just another thing where I'm very disappointed in myself
Yeah.
again.
Did he do it ironically?
Detroit Tigers,
Okay.
2022.
Dang, I was like, it's not that long ago.
Man,
Oh,
my
recent.
voice.
Okay.
Maybe that'll be the opening music for this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
I
blue
just saw-
hair Jack White era.
Blue hair. Remember blue hair Jack
Oh, yeah.
White? That's gone. Before we get into that, did you see that video I sent you of him driving through Atlanta?
No.
I sent you on Instagram. You probably didn't see it, but like he goes live, but it's like someone holding his phone and they're just in like a 7 or 10 passenger van, whatever, a bigger van. And they're just like jamming out to his new songs and he's driving and he like doesn't know they're filming. And he's just like passing people and weaving in and out. And I was like, man, that would be my luck to like get cut off by Jack White, start blowing the horn. Oh, my bad. My bad. Hey,
Oh, hey, Jack.
you got any records in there? Yeah, my bad.
Yeah,
You're
open
good.
up,
Go ahead.
open up your seat.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I didn't know about the I don't know that it was Seven Nations Army. I don't know what he did either, but
I bet it's good.
people brought
Did he
it
not
up.
do the
Wait.
national anthem?
Looks like Detroit Tigers. I'm gonna fast forward here a
Okay.
little bit. Let's see what he plays.
Tiger fan,
We're close.
artist, and Southwest Detroit native Jack White.
Sounds like the national anthem. This is so Jack White. Looks pretty cool on YouTube.
The slide
Pretty
guitar's killing me.
subdued. Okay.
For all the
Now it's
people
breaking up.
For all the people just listening, we're watching Grant watch his phone.
It's a reaction.
Reaction to
Follow
the
us on
reaction.
YouTube.
Follow us on YouTube to watch Grant.
I'm gonna fast forward and see if he sings.
I don't think he does.
A la Jimi Hendrix style. Just guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's much better than that one girl. Hope she's doing well.
Yeah, rest in peace.
That's pretty good,
That
man.
was great. Jack White, best national anthem ever.
I don't know.
That's a
Chris
thumbnail.
I actually
Stapleton.
like that.
I like it. Yeah, Chris
that's good.
Stapleton, I think is
I think he
top
was the
dog
best.
right now. Oof.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
good.
it's hard.
I wonder how that girl's doing in rehab right now.
We'll have her on. the
Probably
podcast
awesome.
soon.
Yeah, we got to get her on the
well,
podcast.
Next week. Yeah, she'll sing
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
Post rehab.
Yeah. But hey, this is your opportunity to give the national anthem one more shot to show people you can
Give it a
really do
shot.
it. Go ahead. All 4 of our listeners are ready to hear it.
I definitely won't auto tune it.
All right, next slide. Wait, are we winning the Olympics?
I think
Medal count?
I think we're doing
Last
medal
time- last
count.
time I
I
checked.
saw some other table a couple days ago that was like
when are
weighted
you
the
watching
medals.
it? Are you watching it like at 2 a.m?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it much. I don't
so we're
even
on the
know
same
if what I
page.
watch is reruns. I got out of the field Sunday night.
Bruh.
I got to Philadelphia for a Monday morning flight.
Semper.
I fired on my laptop in the lobby. I mean, women's beach volleyball was on.
Nice.
And men's volleyball. Yeah, there was 2 volleyball things on.
Okay.
And USA was playing someone, and watched a little bit of that. And then today, in the middle of the day, I caught what's the gymnast name? It's like 4'10".
Oh, Simone
Simone
Biles.
Simone Biles.
Just
yeah, but I don't
rocket
know if
ship.
it was live or not. Like that's the thing about the Olympics is you
it's,
never know.
It's all at like 2. It's all in like 2 a.m. is when it's
yeah.
live.
So no, I have seen the Olympics on.
Just the replays from the previous.
I guess like, but I haven't like, oh man, the only time I've ever done that in my life, twice, I guess 4-6 years ago when CJ Cummings, weightlifter from Beaufort, South Carolina,
He's legit.
was competing in weightlifting. I think I got up at I was in Vermont. I got up at 6 a.m. to watch him compete. And then, I mean, when Michael Phelps did his run,
that was sick.
I felt like the whole nation stopped.
Yeah.
Outside of that, and what was the guy with the gold shoes? Usain Bolt?
Oh,
the Jamaican dude.
The original guy was
guy.
Michael.
You're talking
was
about Michael.
Johnson.
You're talking about Michael Johnson. Yeah,
Would we have been 5 or 6?
Yeah.
we were pretty young.
Yeah, we would. That would have been.
So I remember my dad being really into that and rabbit ears watching it. But outside of those 3 times, I can't ever remember being I got to catch this Olympics game. I mean, I'll watch it if it's on, but I had never been really gotten into it.
I'm more of I like when the track and field starts.
Track and field
so
is
that's
fun.
Okay.
That's more second half.
Is that like the baton running?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the
It's shot
all
put,
the relays.
Yeah.
all the javelin relays.
Yeah. Is
Also,
that
I'm a
happening
big-
summer?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So no
it's usually
bobsledding.
No bobsledding. It's usually so gymnastics and swimming is first half, and then track and field second half.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather watch the track and field.
I
feel like-
and the speed walking too.
Ooh, that's
always
good
been
That's a good one
television.
with no knee bend. No
That
knee
is
bend.
good
Zone
television.
2, cardio only.
There's so much drama.
Yeah.
It's someone's always accused of cheating.
Yeah. they're like, oh no, they ran. They ran.
She was running.
Yeah, how do you define walking versus running? I feel like that's
have to
harder
have-
than.
You have to have one foot on the ground.
Yeah. So if ever
But
at
you
any
can't
point,
when you pick your foot up.
if at any point both feet are off the ground when
so
you're
here's
running.
here's the thing: when you pick your foot up, the other one's on the ground.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant as opposed to 2 feet on the ground all the time. So okay, one can be.
That would be
Yeah,
cool.
also
That would be
that-
called standing.
That's
Or we got
just
speed
shuffling.
standing. So it stands
That's a bit
still.
rollerblading.
Wow. Look at PJ.
how
He's been
still
standing
he
there for
is.
an hour.
Look at that stillness.
That's
Beautiful.
speed
He's moving a lot, but he hasn't
Speed
moved
standing.
anywhere.
That's deep.
I feel like gymnastics for men is underrated.
It's so
100%.
cool.
Is it
100%.
because
Why are their biceps so good?
it resembles ballet that men don't like to do it? I mean, obviously men like to do it that are in the Olympics, but I just mean weightlifting's pretty niche sport.
Yeah.
But if you lift any weights because you respect literally the weight of the bar, you're watch it.
Yeah.
Gymnastics, I don't feel like most gym people, first word of gymnastics, watch it. But if you watch it, you're holy cow, what a feat of strength.
Like the rings and stuff.
I can only do
Oh,
2
yeah.
muscle ups, and this guy just spun around 9 times.
the cross, the
Launched
iron cross.
himself
It's amazing.
off of a uneven bar or a parallel bar. You're like, dang, these guys are insane athletes.
They get some height too on the floor. They're doing their backflips and boom, dude, they're launched themselves.
I feel,
Yeah.
What's the average height of those guys? Are they 5'4"?
They're all
5'3"?
it's
Yeah.
not really a fair comparison to my strength because they're all short.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Let me see you do that at 6'1", brother.
Yeah.
Let me see you do it at 6'1".
Yeah.
Grow 7 inches and do that again.
There is some kind of discussion there about like why are their arms so jacked? No one has more jacked arms than Olympic gymnasts. Men,
When your arm's this long, it just
It's
looks
easy
jacked.
to get jacked.
True.
Yeah.
I don't
Makes the
know.
bicep
I don't
look
know.
bigger.
There's a lot of short, not jacked people.
You sound like the Coach Greg argument here. You can't bench 315 if you have long arms.
You brought up the short arms. That wasn't me. I'm like, is it true that if you just do endless or chin ups, then
Probably helps.
you get pretty jacked?
You know who that's a great question for?
Yeah.
Nova
our
Ward.
guest.
Let's get her in here.
Oh, what's up?
According to
Look at
this
us
one.
wearing this same shirt.
Dang.
This is a big moment in OK Podcast history. As
Nice.
that's the first female voice on the podcast right there.
There it is.
No. Well,
Whoa.
Can we tell her how to adjust her screen?
Oh, right.
Trey's
Jen
right. We
Thompson.
did have Jen Thompson.
Yeah.
What?
I forgot.
but
we had Jen Thompson.
but not. It was
Sorry,
like a
Jen.
half interview. She was only on for 2
Sorry.
minutes.
So, welcome to the podcast, Nova Ward, right?
Strong name, good name.
Yep.
name.
But
There it is.
Thank you. Thank
Your
you.
Instagram's
Good name.
Nova Sky.
That's my middle
Okay, so
name.
Nova
Sky Ward. Got even
Yeah.
better. Wow.
That is.
Are you a captain yet, or are you still a first lieutenant?
No, still first lieutenant this year at the end of the year.
So you're
the
selected.
backbone of the Marine Corps.
Yeah. We're hooking and jabbing for sure.
Well, no, but first you got to tell us, what's that name? Like what's your lineage?
Well, so technically Scottish. I was born there, lived there until I was 8.
That's pretty cool.
And then came over here. So a little mixture of English. Ward is kind of traditionally English. So English and Scottish.
Oh, you were born in Scotland. I did
Do
not
you do
know
a pretty
that.
sick Scottish accent?
I can, but I'm not going to do
That's
it.
fine. Yeah. We just want to know if you can.
We'll do
That's
it in
we
post.
ask every
We'll do it in
guest
post.
I
that.
can.
Trey, we got to get her warmed up first.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, were your parents like dual citizenship, or did you like come here to become a citizen? I didn't know any of this.
So I have dual citizenship currently still.
Okay.
But my dad's side of the family is all born and bred in Scotland. And then my mom went over there to go to school.
Oh, okay. So she was a U.S. citizen.
Yes, she's a U.S.
Okay,
citizen.
got it. So then when you're, well, she still is.
she still is.
So when you were born, you were automatic dual.
Yeah.
That's cool. 2 for 1.
Yeah. That's what a
Yeah.
deal.
Dang.
Interesting.
It is a deal.
So you're in SoCal. Are you living in like north of base, south of base?
North of base, San
All right.
Clemente.
Same place you were
Yeah.
before.
Oh, NorCal.
Yeah.
We don't
yeah.
want to get.
Not as good of a house, to be fair.
Oh, so
but
not the same house. We don't want to give away too much opposite.
Yeah,
what address are you at now?
Keep the opposite
Yeah.
tight.
do you want my
Social.
social security
Yeah,
as
we'll
well?
get to that, don't worry.
Yeah.
You give it out so much in the Marine Corps, you're probably used to it.
This is true.
So we mainly want to talk to you about working out and stuff, but we got to touch on your Marine Corps stuff. And so
Okay.
you're an artillery officer, like 4 of us.
ready?
PJ's an honorary.
Oh, hell yeah.
PJ's an honorary Marine.
I don't know.
But not a Marine. But he often has good insights when we go down the T-Lasbab too hard.
By
But,
insights, I have dumb questions
yeah.
that maybe other people are thinking.
yeah.
He's not a JTAC.
Listen, you probably bring a lot to the table, to be
Okay.
honest with you.
Like brings
I got
almost
dumb
the
questions for
most
today, don't
to the
worry.
table.
Did you always want to be a Marine?
No, it wasn't really in my purview until I actually lived out in Hawaii for about a year. And I met a bunch of Marines out there, and I really vibed with the culture and just the general personality, the dumbness of what came with it. And so when I graduated, I was actually getting ready to go to physical therapy school. And I kind of just figured like, hey, it's kind of now or never. The body's only going to hold up for so long. So I kind of got to give it a shot if I'm going to.
Okay.
That,
So
that resonates so much.
Yeah.
The dumbness
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
the dumbness of it. So you were not ROTC.
I was
Okay,
not, no.
OCC, 12-week wonder. Yeah,
Yep.
me too.
In COVID.
Oh, in
In
COVID.
COVID.
But that was interesting.
Wow.
Was it all
Touch on
virtual?
Yeah, all
Touch
on
on that.
Teams.
Well, it was just strictly teams. No, we had like 2 week of like acclimation where we were like in these barracks in Quantico, and they would like take us out and like herd us places and then put us in a room so that we basically quarantined for 2 weeks.
Okay.
It was terrible.
Okay. So
And
like,
so that was on top of the 12 weeks. So it was an additional 2 weeks.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
okay, so then was TBS COVID too?
It was a little bit initially, and then we had around the beginning of the new year, we ended up because they let people go on leave, so they quarantined us when we got back, and then a couple people kind of lied about their COVID or whatever.
What?
And yeah,
Crazy.
And so then we got put in like a 2 week quarantine, I think 2 times during the duration of TBS.
Okay. And
Now
when
was-
you
Yeah.
go ahead, Trey.
Was artillery your number one choice coming out of TBS?
That was my question.
It was my number one choice before I even knew what it was.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Why?
Yeah. I met one of the an 0802 when I was out in Hawaii. I met a bunch of grunts as well, and I was like, yeah, I really don't want to do that. And yeah, I was just talking to him about kind of what he did, and I didn't understand like the magnitude of what artillery was, but I was like, big gun go boom. I was like, that sounds
Big guns.
phenomenal.
Big guns.
Drink coffee,
Yeah.
big gun,
Yeah.
go boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's great.
Okay.
time.
And so
Yeah.
did you do really well at TBS? Were you like, did you always know like, I'm probably going to get my spot, or were you nervous getting your selection?
I'm sorry, TBS.
So the basic school. So every Marine goes to officer candidate school. It's like our boot camp.
Okay.
You commission as a second lieutenant, and then you go to the basic school and you compete against your peers. And then based off your standing, the higher the chance that you get what you want to be.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
They don't decide until the end.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back. Thank you.
See, this is why we need PJ.
Great question, honestly. I think I fell out maybe in like this, like the top of the second tier,
Okay, yeah.
or however they kind of delineate that into the
What's
first,
up,
second,
middle of
third.
the
That's
pack?
the way to be.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, real quick, top of the middle of the pack.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted.
I was at the crest.
Yeah,
I
show
was
some
at the
respect.
crest. But yeah, I was never kind of worried about it. My what's it, SPC? He was a pretty cool dude. He wanted artillery, and they kind of fucked him over and got him out of that. So he, as soon as I said that, he was like, okay. He was like, yeah, we'll get
Who
you
was the
one.
SPC?
He was like, yeah.
It's probably
Who's
one
your
of the guys
SPC?
that,
Captain Herm,
no.
I don't know.
I feel like
Major now.
I feel like Captain, now Major Villa, was there around that time too.
Yeah, was he there? Villa, Villa.
I don't remember. He definitely wasn't in our class. I don't remember him.
Okay, so then you get artillery. You're pumped. You got your first choice. You go to
Super
Fort
pumped.
Sill. What'd you think?
Man, don't know if I should advertise this, but math is not my thing.
Mine neither.
Luckily, all of artillery math is made up.
Yes.
So,
Like all of math.
That's secret.
yeah, like all of it, right? So yeah, it was a good time. I definitely like, I'm pretty stupid, so I just have to like study a lot. So I just studied a shit ton basically, and
Yeah, and you
yeah,
did fine.
it was a good time.
What is harder, artillery math or girl math?
Oh, girl math
for sure, right? Doesn't even make
Goes
sense.
way more intricate. Yeah.
If
What's
you
even
buy
worse
the
is-
artillery, go ahead.
What's even worse is learning all that math and then going to high Mars.
Yeah, I
immediately after
love
and then
that.
Not using any of it.
It's even more
Don't
fun.
worry.
What's worse is going to the schoolhouse, not even learning about high Mars, and they're like, "Hey, what do you know about high Mars?" I'm like, "Nothing, bro. You taught me nothing."
Wait, so did you go to HIMARS first?
No. Luckily, I went to a cannon battery. Thank God.
So you went to 111, 211?
111.
Okay, got it. And then you became a fire supporter, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and that's where I currently am.
And then you just got back from
Yeah.
deployment
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
and you did the 31st.
31st.
Yep. Did the 31st MU as a BFSO out there. So it was a good experience. I think the workup probably was the best learning period for me. We got out in the field a ton. We did SLTE, which is obviously in 29 Palms. So that was some really good training. I thought the workup was definitely hard, but that was probably the best training that I've
Are
done.
you a fan of Japan?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind it. I got a little like beater car, and so me and my roommates would just go off on the weekend and explore island and stuff. So yeah, I didn't have any problems with it. I
It's
like it.
Okinawa, right?
Yeah, Okinawa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
PJ's what, quarter Japanese?
I'm half Japanese, and actually the other half is English Scottish. So
Oh no way!
yeah, the
Oh,
worlds collide.
Might be your brother.
Maybe long lost.
Oh, probably yeah.
Some cousin.
Okay, so I got to speak, and Trey, Jeff, and I will sound so old, but when we came through, women had not been let into combat arms MOSs, and I was an XO with Tango, and the first female hit 11th Marines on my way out. I can't even remember her name, but I think what was the first female artillery officer? Was it Brody? Or something like that.
Yes, it was Captain Brody. Yeah.
So Captain Brody, who I've met, but it was definitely like new. And then I went to the SMCR, and they hadn't really integrated females yet. They did the active component first, and towards my end of the time, as an I&I, we had our first female FDO. But I'm just curious, like women have been in the Marine Corps since how long have they been in the Marine Corps?
Since the inception, almost.
Since the inception, right?
Technically, since the inception, yes.
Okay.
Because they were like clerks and stuff.
So coming in, like, was that challenging? Like, I mean, Artie, we like to act like we're the toughest guys in the world. At the end of the day, it's often camping with cannons. But like, was it hard? And like, how did you make it work? And I remember when we saw you at the ball a few years ago with my wife, she's like, "Oh, I never understood how women could do this." But then I met Nova, and I was like, she can totally dominate all these guys, which we'll get to later on.
funny.
But I'm curious, like, was it intimidating, or was it like, hey, when I came into OCS, it was intimidating. By the time I got to the fleet, I didn't worry about it. Did you like take backlash, and only what you're free, like what you feel comfortable talking about? But I'm just curious what that was like.
Yeah. If I'm being completely honest with you, I never gave it a second thought.
Yeah.
I can hang kind of with the best of them, and I really just don't even factor it into anything. I've never, I mean, luckily, like I obviously cannot speak for everyone, but I have luckily received no issues being in the Marine Corps, thinking about joining the Marine Corps. I think that's probably the number one question I do get asked, which is like, how is it being a woman in the Marine Corps? I'm like, it's fine. It's like I've never had any issues. Yeah, it's any other job. I'm fine. Like, honestly, everyone I've worked with, I think would probably, like, if anything did happen, I know that they would back me. So I think that's kind of where it comes down to. Like, I truly have not had any issues, and I really don't think twice about it.
No, that's good. I always thought it was interesting because a lot of folks, maybe they're like really right leaning, watch too much Fox News. Whenever that happened, they were like, "Can you believe this?" And I was like, "This is the best thing that happened ever." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, because we as an organization or in combat arms are like, well, women can't do this because it's hard." And I had a buddy that was on the artillery thing that was like briefing Panetta. And so basically, DOD's like, "Well, how is it hard?" It's like, "Well, we lift heavy stuff." Yeah. And they're like, "Well, how heavy is this stuff?" And they're like, "Well, a 155 is 105 pounds. Like, okay, how high do you have to lift it? They're like, "Well, this high into a 7-ton. And they're like, "Okay, so what if you had to lift 115 pounds 3 times over your head? Would that be sufficient?" And I actually think like women coming into combat arms made the MOS better as a whole, not necessarily because women were in, but because now it's like, hey, these are the standards of things you have to do. Now, as a strength coach, I have a problem with it from like the IST perspective, initial strength test, where you have a kid that's 18, goes and sees his recruiter. He can't do that. And they're like admin, where I'm like, oh, give me this kid for 1 month. And he'd be able to do that, 10 times over.
100%.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, it's funny how people think like it was a bad thing. It's like, actually it clarified the standards of what the job entails.
No, 100%. I like to your point, like there's plenty of dudes who also can't lift a 155 and they're still in it as well.
Exactly.
So like, if we're going to say that.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And every ops chief ever.
Yeah, right. True. For real. I always thought it was interesting that like they were like, "Oh, well, it's going to be such a struggle to like, integrate them into a platoon and stuff like that. Like, what are you going to do when you go to the field?" But like at TBS,
always a question.
They're integrated right into the platoon. It's fine. Like and it's like, we've been doing this and it's fine. You just, they're a Marine, you're a Marine. Let's go do this. And
there was always talk, because like obviously out in SLT on those long extended, time frames in the field, you're in a K-span with a bunch of dudes, usually staff and O, or like, for example, MTX, like we were sleeping out there in the dirt. And the question came up, they're like, and it was more, I think, out of respect to me of like asking my comfortability level, which I do appreciate. Sure. And they're like, do you care if you're like, some of the girls are up in the barracks, if you want to go through that? I'm like, dude, we slept out with each other in SLTE. Like nothing is different. Yeah. Like nothing changes.
And do you feel like you got like a lot of, we'll say street cred, because we're reservists and we get to use like civilian terms, but like, do you feel like there's been opportunities as a female to be like, yeah, I could go to the barracks, but you're a platoon commander or you're a FIST team leader and you're like, no, I'm going to do the same thing all the Marines do. And that it's like, oh, wow, the ma'am's like, she's one of us.
I think maybe in a couple instances, like just for example, like obviously like, pissing in the field is always like a fun thing to navigate as a female. Cause it's just harder. All right. Like you can get the tube with the thing to collect, do whatever. But like,
is that the donkey?
I think that's probably the biggest thing, where like we were out in like SLTE with Carnage Battery, and you're in the desert. There's no freaking, like, there's barely any bushes. Like there's nothing you're hiding behind. Okay. So like we're in the middle of missions. I haven't pissed in hours, and I'm like, hey, all right, I'm going outside of that net 2 feet. If anything happens, call me, because I'm literally pissing outside of the net. I was like, all right. And they're like, yeah, sounds good, ma'am. Like, don't worry. I'm like, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
yeah, field bathrooms are always so. For PJ's sake, when you go to the field, sometimes you'll get to a pause where there's a porta john where they like put them out. But like if you're deployed or if you're just in 29 Palms, there's often not. And so
There's just trees.
I mean, in the 29 Palms, there's not really trees. So
Just dirt.
so we usually use like ammo crates. Like if you gotta drop a deuce, you go to the gun line, you get the ammo crate that the primers come in. It's like an ammo crate, but there's no top and no bottom.
Okay.
And so you go out, you dig a hole, you set it over it, right? Marines will get creative. A lot of FTC guys will have a metal folding chair that they've drilled out in the middle and put a toilet seat on.
Ooh, fancy.
The Cadillac.
You grab the chair and you
it's
walk
crazy.
off. But yeah, there's no bathroom. So it's like when you need to use the bathroom, no matter what kind. But like if you're a guy and you just need to take a leak, like, yeah, it's an easy day. But yeah. Have you tried the little like stand to pee devices or whatever? Not to be gross. I'm just curious. I've never asked.
No, it didn't go well.
Yeah, it didn't go well. Yeah.
It didn't go well.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I will say actually worked better. I don't know. Yeah, it worked better. You know, I actually don't know the legit name for this, but the donkey dicks, the things you fill that.
Yeah, it's the donkey
like,
dicks.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Contraption many times on the podcast.
So, you know, I will say that worked better.
Okay, good to know. See,
Amazing.
yet another name. Okay,
another reason that thing's a good piece of gear.
A quick off the cuff quiz. So the main donkey dick I think we all think of is it's called like cap and flask fuel dispenser, which is, you know, what you're talking about now. What other items come to mind in the Marine Corps as a donkey dick? I can think of a few, but I'm just curious.
Oh, some of the antennas on the radios for sure. That black
UHF
one.
antenna.
UHF.
Yeah, UHF,
thanks.
that one.
Thanks.
Yep.
Right. I should know that. Oh God, what else?
A lot of times,
that's like the biggest.
A lot of times, the pizza cutter, which you're not supposed to call a pizza cutter.
Oh yeah, the pizza cutter. Which no one knows the technical term for that. By the way, it's always pizza cutter.
It's always pizza. Well, whereas like RDP, we're like, don't say RDP, say range deflection.
Yeah, we're like, don't say that.
And then the other one that comes to mind is that thing in the armory that's like silver and has the brush on the end with the button that's the LP comes out of. That's the arm.
I didn't think about that one. That was a good
donkey
one.
Dick, but yeah,
that's the armory's donkey dick.
It's a good term. All right. Anything else we need to grill her about the Marine Corps before we get into like how to get her biceps?
Man, I think that's what the people want.
That's all I want to hear.
That, I think that's what the people want.
That's what the people want. That's what the people want. That's all Jordy was like,
they do. You really
Jordy
do.
was like, Nova's coming on? Like Jack Nova? And I was like, yes, like Jack Nova.
I'm like, hell yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, all right. So I'll tell you my like background with Nova. Mike Minigal, first lieutenant, deployed downrange right now on the 11th or 15th. 15th MEU.
Great MEU.
Finally, the boxer finally got fixed.
Yeah, finally departed.
He's out to sea. Got a little baby at home and wife. Hope they're doing well. But anyway, he was working at the gym, joined the Marine Corps, left COVID times, comes back, and he tells me like, hey, there's this chick, like she's super strong. You should get her up at the gym. I'm like, hey, let's come up and let's lift. And I'm just thinking like, you know, when in my mind, when someone tells me a female is super strong, I'm like, if you can deadlift 315 as a female, like you're super strong. And I think you missed 405 that day, like got it just above. Yeah, I did. Just above the knee.
Yeah.
But it was close. And like you had just done 385 or something. And I was like, wow, she's like really strong. And then don't let me put words in your mouth, but I'll tell you how it is to me. You were kind of like going down the powerlifting thing for a little while and you competed last year. And then now you've kind of transitioned to CrossFit. Like just talk us about like fitness is obviously a huge part of your life. It's probably helped you be very successful as a Marine officer because man or female, if you can out PT all your guys, there's value there no matter if you're a nerd or what you are. So like, just tell us kind of like your fitness journey and like, you know, your powerlifting days. And I can say that because I know you did at least one meet and then now you seem very into CrossFit. Like what's up with that?
Yeah. So, I guess so. I kind of experimented with CrossFit. I played lacrosse in college, and I kind of dabbled in CrossFit for a little bit there. Nothing serious, kind of just like messing around, trying to pretend to be strongish, which I wasn't very strong at the time. So like everything was super frustrating. So yeah, I did that for a little bit, and then kind of transitioned to strongman for quite a few years there.
Would that be strong woman?
Prior,
to be fair,
yeah, strong woman, whatever. Yeah.
Sure. Fire control woman.
Yeah, sure. So did that for a pretty decent amount of time, competed quite a few times in that, went to nationals, got super humbled because those women they can move some weight.
Wait, so like you qualified and went to nationals?
Wow. I did, yeah.
Okay. And pause story. What lifts did you do? How did you place? That's interesting.
That's legit.
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, there was a sandbag toss. So you had to do increasing weights, and you had to toss it over. I forget the height of it, but a height of a bar, basically. There was a log clean and press, a yoke carry. I believe there was a farmer's carry, and then a deadlift.
What are the numbers on those to qualify?
So you can qualify through different state competitions. So I wasn't even nationals was not even in my purview. I just competed at a state comp, and then they were like, "Oh, you won. Also, you can go to nationals now." And I was
what state?
I think that one that I did was actually North Carolina, which ironically, do you know Nancy Johnson?
Does she run USPA out here?
So no, so she's super big in the strongman community, but was a prior Marine.
No, I don't. I should look her up.
She's putting up crazy numbers, and my only claim to fame is beating her in that North Carolina competition when she was still in the Marine Corps and not as strong as she is now. But yeah, so I qualified there, and then I ended up going to nationals. I think it was the same year.
Wow, Nancy Johnson looks jacked.
She's
I'm
huge.
At photo right now.
She's such an animal.
I gotta look it up.
Can we get her on the podcast?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure she'd love to come on. Cool. Yeah. Cause prior Marine, total PT stud. She was, running 300.
Wow.
She's the real deal.
So you beat her, your first claim to fame.
I did by happenstance.
Okay.
What?
So yeah, did that for a while. Competed at nationals. I think I came in, I don't even know. I think maybe 6th or 7th in my weight class.
Out of
maybe
20,
16, 20, somewhere in there.
Top of the middle of the pack. We're seeing a trend here.
Yeah, just a trend.
Good place to be. Good place to be.
I really like to be consistent.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, and then did that for a little while until I joined the Marine Corps. Kind of got away from anything specific. Did a lot of power building, kind of just to get my strength up, and then met Mike and kind of started working out more with him. And obviously he's kind of more aligned to the powerlifting realm. Yep. So he actually taught me how to squat better, which I'm forever thankful for because my squat was trash.
It was only 315.
So yeah, so he helped me a bunch with that. And then he kind of somehow managed to convince me to do a powerlifting meet. And I was like, yeah, sure. Whatever.
Did you go 9 for 9?
So did that.
Or what were your, what did you do?
No.
I think you missed some lifts, if I remember.
I missed a squat and I think it was just a squat that I missed.
Did you fail it or get lighted for depth or?
No, I failed. Okay. I failed my last squat.
So what was your squat there? Do you remember?
I think it was 298.
Okay, that you got.
I want to say, I got.
And your bench?
And then after that, I bench was 206. I think. Okay.
That's good.
I want to say.
You pulled 400?
No, I didn't pull 400. I think I pulled 395.
Okay, so right in there.
Solid.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's strong.
So right in there.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. We can bump those numbers up, I feel like.
Rookie numbers.
Rookie numbers. But yeah, so I enjoyed that. I will say I have a pretty ADHD mind. So I think CrossFit kind of lends itself more to my stimulus. So over deployment, I kind of was just doing the power build thing. I was building my own programming, and just kind of trying to see where I could get with that strength wise over deployment. And And then while I was on deployment, I ended up just dropping into a CrossFit gym on base, and I just really like enjoyed it and missed it. And I was putting up like pretty decent numbers, like clean and jerk and snatch and all that. So I was like, oh, maybe I should
do this,
dabble a little bit more in that. So yeah, that's kind of where the path has taken me at this point. And yeah, so I'm kind of trying to see where that goes. I'd like to be competitive in it, but I don't know. We'll see.
What's your best clean and jerk?
My best right now is 235.
That's pretty good. What's your best snatch?
Best snatch, snatch is a little
That's
iffy.
tough.
But 175.
Okay, that's good. Those are good numbers.
That's good.
So are you thinking about?
Yeah, we're working on it.
Are you thinking about doing like a CrossFit competition in which those two lifts, amongst other things, are incorporated? Or are you thinking like, hey, I've done the super specific powerlifting thing. Maybe I do a weightlifting competition.
I've kind of thought about it, the weightlifting side. I just really I get really bored with that, with like the like being stagnant and just doing
The rigidity.
single lifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just went through the qualifying process for the Japan championship, which goes out in November. And I think I got second for the qualifiers. So I'll be competing in that in November.
In Japan.
Very
In
cool.
Japan.
Okay. And what do those consist of? Like what exercises?
So general CrossFit, they haven't released any of the workouts, but the workouts for the qualifiers, consisted of anything. One of them was like 100 double unders, and then into 25 wall balls, 25 lunges, 100 double unders, wall balls, lunges, and then 100 double unders.
Okay.
So that was just one of them.
I feel like Jeff might have some specific what CrossFit movements, Jeff.
Oh yeah, no,
Jeff
that's
was
the
a big
question that's in my
CrossFitter
head. Is
back
like,
in the day.
okay, like boom, workout comes out on the whiteboard, and what goes up, and you're like, hell yeah, I can do this all day. And then what is like, shit, this is gonna be a rough one.
So yeah, anything with a power clean, anything overhead. Like if I can get it to my shoulders, it's going overhead. Okay. That's like kind of my jam. Honestly, like ring muscle ups have been pretty good for me recently. So really enjoying those. Anything related to overhead squatting, long running. Yeah, you can count me out of that.
I'm gonna scale this one to something else. I'm gonna scale it to power cleans.
Yeah.
So, and I should know this. I'm gonna really out myself here. 3 mile for a female, still 18 minutes.
I don't think so.
It is 21 minutes
to max.
No, I didn't.
Okay,
max.
good. I thought it was different. I didn't know what it was. So, what do you run?
Yep, 21. So I run anywhere between, like, depending on if it's a good day, anywhere between like a 22 and a 23:30.
Okay,
solid.
Okay, so that's what I run, but my standard's 18. So your score's a lot higher. Yeah.
But we're old broken
pain,
field mates,
like in true
grades.
pain.
Yeah, exactly. Broken field grade. Any questions on CrossFit, PJ?
On CrossFit? No, I don't have any CrossFit questions. Yeah.
I guess what prompts you to switch from strongman to powerlifting? Is it just, hey, I'm getting tired of this and then want to try something new, or is it something like you meet somebody and they kind of talk you into it and you get hooked, or?
Not really. I think like strongman was fun. I just didn't feel like I truly like enjoyed it enough to continue with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like some of the movements in there for sure, but I just wasn't like super overly passionate about it. Same with powerlifting. I never really like looked at powerlifting. I'm like, oh yeah, like I want to.
So it seems like all these things kind of led you to CrossFit. Yeah. Is what it.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Or like back around to CrossFit at least. Cause now it's like, now I'm a little bit stronger. So it's more fun, obviously, when you're stronger.
Yeah.
Because you can put up some pretty cool numbers and stuff like that, and like do a lot of like the cool tricks, so like muscle ups and handstand walks and all the shenanigans that come along with it. But yeah, I think it's just like a stimulation thing for me as well. Like I like to be entertained when I'm working out, and I think CrossFit just keeps me guessing, and like it just shows me how bad I am at like everything.
Yeah, it's very humble.
But you started with CrossFit, correct?
A little bit,
Okay,
yeah.
and then-
So I dabbled a little bit in
but
it.
then like powerlifting and strongman kind of allowed you to have a pretty good base to kind of
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, for
How
sure.
much did that prepare
Yeah.
you for CrossFit? I know it's a lot different doing powerlifting or power building workouts in a CrossFit workout. Did you feel, how much did that carry over?
I think a lot of it carried over. I think a lot of like the core strength that you get from powerlifting, from strongman, I think that lends itself really well to CrossFit. Just because if you have a strong core, like a lot of those big lifts and a lot of stability obviously comes and is driven from that. So I think that working a lot of those heavier movements, like heavy yoke, log clean and jerk, and then just general, obviously squatting, and then, deadlift as well. Like all of those combined work to build that core. Obviously if you're doing it right. So I think that lent itself really well to kind of transitioning over to
So
CrossFit.
if you were, if one more, man. So if you had a new person trying to get into CrossFit, then you would probably push them towards, hey, I would start building a base doing these essential movements first.
Yeah, for sure. Before you do any of the stupid like flailing around, pull-ups on the bar and stuff, like you gotta have the strict base.
Yeah.
Like you can't just like get up there and just like fling around and hope for the best. Like you gotta have a good set of pull-ups. You gotta have a strong base when you're squatting. You gotta have a good strict overhead press. Like those are the big things that I would definitely push before they start doing any of the dumb shit.
I knew you were based. That's what I was going to ask is, do you keep so you're CrossFitting a bunch. And I want to talk to you a little bit about like your social media stuff here in a second, but do you keep like a strength training baseline that you overlay CrossFit on top of? Or are you just like, hey, if the WOD says work up to a heavy double, I'll work up to a heavy double? Or you're like, no, I will squat 5x5 the first day of the week? Or like, how do you think about knowing how important getting strong was to make you good at CrossFit? Like, do you try to keep that, or are you just like, hey, what the whiteboard says I'll do?
So I did align myself with a coach because I didn't know how to work myself appropriately in CrossFit.
Yeah.
So I work with Golden Line Training. And I only started working with him about a month and a half ago. So his kind of assessment, he did kind of like an initial like strength assessment with like where I kind of was standing strength wise. And mostly what we now focus on is building my engine, because that's kind of where I kind of have a downfall. So like he's like, yeah, you have a strong base for actual strength. That like I've built previously. So now it's kind of trying to round out the package with, getting a better engine, developing that, and then developing kind of like the more technical moves. So throughout training, like there's definitely like, yeah, we're front squatting. Yes, we're back squatting. Yes, we're doing, strict overhead press, or some type of pressing to kind of maintain that strength capability. But then just because I do have a little bit of a stronger base, it's now kind of trying to round that out.
When you say engine, are you talking like work capacity? Okay.
Yeah, like work capacity and being able to work longer and more efficiently during those workouts.
Okay. I want to ask you some nutrition stuff and like body fat stuff, but first, what's your top overhead press? Because I always say I've only seen, and I want to make sure this is right, and I will leave out like weird stuff on the Arnold stage for competition. But in terms of training people, I've only seen 3 women press 135 overhead. I don't mean that as a knock against women. I just mean,
no, it's great.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Like, I assume you can press 135. Yeah.
I can.
What's your top press? That's what I was getting at.
180.
PJ's like just shrinking in his chair over there.
I got you by a hair.
I gotta go do some overhead press. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Mine's 185.
185.
I got you by a hair.
No, that's impressive. It doesn't really count if you do it with those rubber Chinese plates, but if you do it at the Strength Co., you have an open invitation anytime to go up to the Costa Mesa gym and film it. I'll give you some t-shirts.
I'm gonna have to do that.
You got to hit 185, get the 25s on there, round it out.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I know.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's awesome. Yeah.
If you're listening and you don't lift weights, which means you're not listening, but 135. It's like I haven't seen many females do that. Like that is an incredible.
Yeah.
And
Incredible.
and I say bigger girls, not like they're overweight, but even like tall girl, because a lot of it's so relevant to overall body weight, right? And so it's like, it's just a really tough thing for females to get. And we were talking about it earlier on the show before you came on about just like a novice linear progression for a beginner and what stalls for women. Well, what stalls for women and men is the press and the bench. But with women, it shuts off, and it's because you have breast, which means that you have a lot of body fat on your upper body, whereas guys, it's all muscle. And so it's just a really tough lift. 180, man, that's incredible. That's awesome. Okay, so I've seen like a shift maybe in the last few weeks. I follow you. If you don't follow her, it's at Nova Sky. We'll give you a chance to plug yourself at the end. But you upgraded your camera.
I did.
You're like, I appreciate this because I sell plates for a living, right? So we're always trying to come up with media. Hey, how can we showcase things? But I'll give a guess in my head and you can say, but over the last month, your page has drastically changed from like, hey, I'm Nova, I'm a Marine and I lift weights and like, follow me if you're my friend to, I don't know what, but like the media, like it's like, what are you, not that you're after anything, but like, what are you doing? Cause it's definitely different. Like the last month or so.
What's the end goal?
I don't really know.
To be frank, like I think it's awesome.
I don't know. I don't really know if I necessarily have a goal with it. I do really appreciate like cool media. And I do love a good, motivational workout cut. I think they're super cool. I kind of nerd out on them. They fill up my For You page. So, I guess kind of inspired by that. And then I've been doing a lot of training, with, this girl, Katie Jones.
I was going to ask you about her. She's a big deal.
Yeah, big deal. Super cool girl, super strong. But I just, by happenstance, ended up joining a gym that she actually works out of. And we just kind of hit it off. And so she kind of just took a couple clips of me the first go around and she was like, you should like kind of do more of this. Like, it's cool. People like it. So I think that kind of drove me a little bit and I did like it. It was cool. And it's fun to mess around with. And I think like I spend so much of my time in the gym that I think it's cool to share. And if it inspires someone or if it, inspires Marines, inspires, whoever, I think it's cool to put out there and, I don't know, it's fun to showcase.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a nerd question?
Yeah.
All right. So as the guy doing the cameras here, what's the camera that you're using?
Nerd.
Oh, I'm using the Canon EOS 50.
Oh yeah. Easy.
EOS 50.
Yeah. It's a good piece of gear.
It's good. It's really good. So that camera, that's like a good like base model Canon. I would call it. Like, yeah.
It's stupid proof.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. No, sometimes those are the best things. These mics right here are what I would call stupid proof. And I chose them for a reason. Like you could chuck these out the 2-story window right now and you could pick them up and they still work. So I love them.
So
you're like,
is it like a nifty 50 lens? It's a 50 millimeter?
No, it's not. That's the body. I would say that it's like maybe a step below that. Yes.
And the lens is fixed.
I actually don't know. Is the lens attached, like fixed to it, or can you change the lenses on that?
No, you can change out the lenses. So I just have like the base lens at the moment. I'm probably going to upgrade to one that kind of like auto focuses on exactly like the person that you're filming.
Does it not have autofocus?
It does, but I like the blurring effect usually in the background if there's like people around and stuff. I think it kind of takes away from the ambiance.
An f 2.8 or lower. That's what you need.
Yeah.
And do you like set it up? Do you set it up on a camera and film it yourself?
She puts it on the donkey dick and then it stabilizes it.
Yeah. And then if she just goes to the bathroom, it's there. It's easily accessible.
Yeah.
It's,
Two
it's
for
win-win
one.
for all.
Yeah.
Multi-purpose, I'm telling you.
She cleans her guns at home.
Yeah, it's
like,
great.
But do you film everything and edit everything yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
awesome.
for the most part, yes. Sometimes like Katie will like film some of the more moving pieces if we're there at the same time. And then, vice versa for her. But yeah, usually I'll just tripod it and, set it up, make sure the angle's not terrible, and then kind of edit it together at the end.
And what gym are you at?
So I'm at Left Coast CrossFit.
What city?
It's up in, I guess, like Laguna Niguel area. So it's like 15 minutes from me. It's honestly one of the dopest gyms I've ever been in.
Dope.
All right.
Yeah, it's
I'll have
crazy.
to come out and work out there. Do they need some USA Iron?
100%.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
You have to hook me
Just
up
up
for
to
that.
5.
Everyone needs that.
Everyone needs that. No, that's cool. It's cool. And what you said about like inspiring Marines, when I'll be 100% honest, when I started doing YouTube stuff, I did not do it for Marines. I did it to sell more plates. And it's funny now, as a battery commander, I had a sergeant section chief come up to me and he's like, "Hey sir, I was home the other day and I've been trying to lift weights and like you popped up on my YouTube feed." And I was like, "Awesome." He's like, "No, I bought the book Starting Strength." He's like, "And I'm running it." And I was like, "Hey, we're in the field. We'll have no time this drill, but like August is a home site. Like I'll take you in." But it was kind of cool that like, here's the thing that's like every person, but every Marine needs to be stronger. And it's like, wow, you're starting to reach that. And it's just, that's a whole nother topic, but it's just funny, like Gen Z and like the youth of our current Marines, because they're like, "Sir, I looked up your Strength Co YouTube. You got hella followers."
Hella followers.
I'm like that.
Hella
and they're
followers.
Like, "You're awesome." I'm like, "That's why you think I'm awesome?"
Look at
Like,
that YouTube.
that's why I'm equated to being awesome.
I didn't know that's what it took, but
I can't wait for your YouTube channel. Can't wait for the YouTube channel. Feel like a lot of women would like that. Men too, probably.
we'll have to do a workout vlog next time I'm there.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Oh,
Come up and we'll train. You can overhead press more than me or something like that.
I gotta get one. So I remember living with Grant. I think you were like in the process of getting certified for starting strength to be a coach. And I think it like fell, maybe it was, what was the 29 Palms exercise in December?
Steel Night.
Steel Night.
I think it fell like right in the middle of Steel Night. And it was like the worst timing of it, because it was like you're in the middle of training, kind of doing everything you're supposed to do, but it's like this 2-week field op. So how much of field ops get in the way, and kind of what do you do whenever, I guess, for the Marines out there to kind of keep something going, or keep, I don't know, do you take a pause? What do you deload? I don't know. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just depends on kind of like how long, obviously, the field op is. If you're out in, SLT and it's one of those extended ones and you're not actually out in the field, you're like, on Camp Wilson or something, like they have gyms. There's plenty of opportunity to kind of just maintain. You're not trying to get crazy and do anything wild, but just maintenance basically. But yeah, I mean, if it's anything for like a few days or, even like a week, I'll kind of just let that be my time, because I don't really take deloads. So I'll let that be my time to kind of just like refit, come out of the field a little, like feeling a little bit stronger.
Get plenty of sleep.
And just gotta give myself, get plenty of sleep, depending.
Eat really good.
Probably. Eat some MREs, like actually get the caloric count up there. Right. But yeah, usually I use that as my deload. Everyone kind of freaks out about it and they're like, I'm gonna lose my gains. I'm like, nah, like you'll be fine, bro. Like it'll be good.
It's the same as like, and obviously a trip I just got back from a 5-day field op, which in the reserves is long. It's not a vacation, but it's the same thing if you're like coaching someone. It's like, "Hey, I'm going to Hawaii for 5 days. What should I do?" And I'm like, enjoy Hawaii.
Enjoy your trip.
Like have a great time. Be consistent when you're home and you'll be fine. Like you're not going to lose all your gains.
No.
Roll real quick. Favorite MRE.
Ooh, I was going to ask that. Nice. Love it.
There's only one right answer.
True.
I feel like that's false.
I feel like it's too.
I like the chicken bowl one is.
Oh, I thought you were going to say chicken pesto pasta.
Not that one.
Chicken burrito.
No, it's
that one's not bad.
Yeah,
not bad at all.
That's the one. Yeah. That one's good.
What's the worst one?
I like that one. oh God, the fettuccine.
Oh, you hate that one?
Fettuccine Alfredo. Oh,
I hate the maple sausage one because like
What?
it always drips all over
That was
you,
good.
and it's like hard to make it work out. Yeah.
It's
No,
real
that's
sensual.
good.
Jeez.
So yeah. So speaking of healthy nutrition, so people will leave this. We'll link your Instagram in the show notes. They'll go follow you. You're like shredded. Like, what's your body fat percentage?
Thank you. Oh, I have no idea.
Okay. But like every
No
muscle's
idea.
visible. Like how much of your like, are you a psycho about nutrition? Or are you one of those people that's like, nah, I eat a California burrito every day for lunch at Ramon's and everything's fine?
Ramones.
No, no, I'm not like that. I luckily have grown up with a really good base. Like my mom was a super foodie.
Okay.
So she always, bought local and had a lot of vegetables and all that shenanigans. So I come from that baseline. And I've really just kind of continued that, into adulthood and what have you. I do track my macros. Obviously the biggest one that I'm trying to hit every single day and fighting for my life is protein. Because, around body weight protein. So I'm trying to intake at least 165 grams,
Okay.
which is a job in itself. But I really just track everything that I eat. And I do eat pretty clean anyway. So, I mean, like if I'm having, Chick-fil-A one day of the week, like, I track it and just make sure that like everything kind of aligns.
So you track every day, no matter what. You don't like track for a while. Then you're like, hey, now I know what a cup of ranch is. Like every day you're inputting into, do you use like MyFitnessPal or what do you use?
Yeah, I use MyFitnessPal. Yeah. I mean, so I'm not to be fooled here. Like I haven't tracked. So I've started tracking again religiously, probably now for like a month and a half. So same time frame that I've been working with my coach. But prior to that, like on deployment, I didn't track anything. I was just eating for pleasure. Like I'm a big foodie. I love food. As long as it's balanced out with what I'm doing and like the output capacity, like I'm generally pretty fine. And I know what foods kind of make me feel like shit and perform badly. So, excuse me, just kind of being in tune with like how I feel versus like, exactly what I'm eating. I don't get too
So you think output versus input though? Like that's cause that's the thing in my head that's hard to teach people. I'm like, well, if I'm just sitting and I'm not training, like I definitely don't need as much. And got it. Yeah.
That's it. That's kind of exactly how I frame it in my mind. I'm like, I mean, and that's also dependent, right? Because like what I've noticed, I'm sure you kind of notice as well. Like if you take rest days, generally I find it harder to eat on rest days because I'm not moving as much, but I also will still I won't eat probably as much as I do. And then I kind of feel it the next day where I'm like, oh, okay. Like I definitely feel like an energy depletion because I didn't get exactly what I needed in the day before.
Right. Okay. Quick little question here. So this is my cat Calhoun. He doesn't worry about energy output or input. He's on a permanent.
He's not tracking his macros.
He's not tracking his macros.
What if he was?
You have Marine. You have Marine. He's carnivore though.
Smart.
Nova, you'll appreciate that. Like literally, we just feed him ground turkey and chicken.
He loves that.
So you have Marine comes to you. They're corporal. They're 22% body fat. They're 20 pounds overweight. You're getting past your platoon commander days, but like you have this Marine, not like a total fat ass, but like overweight, over body fat. Like, what do you tell them? Like, what's your advice? Cause I feel like the Marine Corps answer is, hey, put them on BCP and the battalion duty will PT you every day at lunch. And then they run around or whatever. But like when you have Marines, cause we've all had these Marines that are like slightly out of standards, but like hugely great performers. Like what's your hey, this is what you need to do.
So kind of how I've approached that in the past, it like you said, it really kind of depends on and I don't want to necessarily always link it to performance, but I feel like it your willingness to help a certain Marine, right, generally is based on how well they're performing, right? So it kind of depends on that. Like if they're already showing you a step right by coming to you and being like, hey, like, what do I do? Like I've tried this, it doesn't work. I tried that, whatever it is. Right. So like, I always appreciate that. And like, I take that into account. And in the past, I've honestly, I've gone with them and I'm like, hey, walk me through a workout that you do. Like, let's go work out. I'm not going to say anything. Let's do what you do. See what that is. So I'm looking at how they're actually working out, because like, obviously if they're coming in, they're saying like, I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm not getting any results. I'm like, okay. I'm like, let me see what you're actually doing. Like, walk me through your workout. Let's go run a workout together. And then I'll kind of baseline. Okay, so this is really what they're doing. Like, ultimately, they're not working that hard. Let's kind of elevate that and start pushing them into, a little bit of uncomfortable levels. I think in the Marine Corps, we always kind of associate fitness with running.
Yep.
And as much as I don't like running, like it's a necessary evil for everything that we do. You need to be able to run under load. You need to be able to ruck. You need to be able to do well on a PFT, CFT. So like that is all a factor, but I don't think it should be the sole thing of like, hey, we need to go out on like a 4-mile run. Like, let's like get you into the weight room. Let's figure out where you can kind of, lose some of that weight while also still maintaining, like, yeah, there'll be runs, but like, let's work through what that looks like in the weight room. Because maybe you just don't know what you're doing in there and you're not doing it effectively. So if we make some tweaks, add some stuff, subtract some of the dumb shit, then let's see going forward, building, a program kind of specific to you, what we can accomplish from that.
Okay.
And then obviously like the nutrition part as well. Like, hey, what are you eating? What are you drinking on the weekends? Are you going out and getting smashed Friday through Sunday? Because like, obviously that does play a giant role into like a lot of these guys' lives that they don't necessarily think about.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I approach it.
No, it's interesting.
I have a follow on if you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So kind of tacking onto that, and you're clearly in shape. It seems like you've kind of explored all of the different avenues of fitness, or at least a lot of them. If someone was coming to you, maybe one of those Marines or something, and they said, hey, I really want to get stronger. I just want to focus on like strength. Or someone says, hey, I really want to build some size and get bigger. What's your general advice for them, or what has worked well for you? And maybe they're the same thing, maybe they're different, but what's your take on that kind of advice?
I mean, it depends on like, obviously like the body composition that they're coming with as well. So just for example, like one of my sergeants on deployment, he like came to me and he's a stud sergeant, like super squared away. But he wanted to gain some weight and he wanted to gain some mass and size, and strength, obviously. He's on the thinner side, not super skinny, but he's on the thinner side, definitely has a high metabolism. And probably just is not getting the caloric intake that he needs to actually put on size. So I kind of worked with him a little bit over deployment, and like he already kind of knew what he should be hitting. So like, obviously the 3 big lifts, bench, squat, deadlift, he kind of already had that squared away. But then adding on like the accessories that go along with that to create that actual base strength. And then getting him on a mass gainer, because even though he's eating a decent amount, he still needed that extra add-on for caloric intake. And then always a question of like, hey, are you taking creatine? That's always my biggest add-on for anyone who's like, I want to gain size, I want to gain mass, I want to gain strength, is like, hey, are you taking creatine? Are
there reps and sets that you would tell him to do in terms of numbers? Like, hey, you got your big lifts, your big 3, you're kind of sticking to the, whatever, the lower reps, I'd say probably maybe. And then the accessories, those are higher, or what seems to work best? Yeah.
So what I kind of set him up on was, I think initially I set him up on like a 5x5. So I worked him through a 5x5, kind of set to see where he was. And then I adjusted the rep scheme depending on the week, with like a deload week. So like, a 4-week kind of program with a deload week in there, fluctuating numbers, but not going higher than I believe 7. And that was kind of later on when he gained a little bit more strength.
So fairly low.
And then fairly low to kind of build his comfortability at higher weight. And then the accessories were all within like the 8 to 12 range.
Did he gain weight?
And had him work through that. He did.
Yeah, what's he now?
He did gain weight. So he originally, when we got out there, he was almost the exact same body weight as me. He was sitting at like 168. And then he went up to 180 while we're on deployment.
Okay. Solid.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how like on a deployment your training's actually better because there's like so many few, like there's so much less distractions.
So much better.
Yeah, so much better.
That's what we said in the force shop. Yeah.
Yeah, deployment training, my favorite. So I'm holding a cat. You have a special animal that you clearly love a lot.
I do.
Yeah, tell us a little about your dog.
I do. Archie, my long-haired wiener dog. He is the light and bane of my existence. He's honestly, he's a good little dude. He kind of grew up with Red Dog, which is Mike Minigo's dog, who absolutely bullied him, and he really needed that.
He's kind of like a big cat.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
All right, so there's like two things to do with every guest. I don't do them because I'm not good at it, but Jeff's going to coach you through how to say the name of the podcast. And then Trey's going to coach you through our sponsor read. And then PJ will ask you anything that you want people to follow you or, you know, wherever the media takes you. So we'll kick it off with Jeff and we'll see where he takes it.
Okay. Have you listened to the podcast before? No stress if you haven't. Okay. So you kind of know.
Yeah.
We found her.
How we kick off.
Wow.
So
Finally,
one listener. Wow.
Okay, that's the 2% right there.
So each episode we kind of start by doing our around the horn of the okay. So channel your think like that disgruntled
OCS.
or like first sergeant, or if you had that battery gunny that's like just always lighting up any Marine that just walks by the office and just like maybe they got a fucked up haircut or something like that. And he wants to snap them into the office and get them. So give us your best kind of like, angry first sergeant, disgruntled, crusty company or battery gunny. Give us an okay, channeling that vibe.
And action.
Oh God, that's a lot of pressure.
Like,
Meaning like
okay, Smith, get in here. Let me cut your hair.
And then
You guys had a barracks cut you got there? Get in here, Smith. Okay. I guess we didn't
cuts are not allowed.
Guess we didn't blouse our boots this morning. Okay.
Okay, Marine, I know that we don't come in here with ripped camis. Okay, we understand that.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Hell yeah.
All right, Trey.
All right, Nova. So we do this with all of our guests, and the bar set very low. We have a lot of people who want to be sponsors, but we chose one.
Yeah.
And it's BW Tax LLC.
BW Tax.
And so what we have everybody do is we'll throw some facts at you about BW, and you have to just do.
Write this down.
You can write it down.
Ooh, I love that.
That's
Prepared.
actually no one's.
I might need to.
No one's ever done that. Yeah, taking me
Fantastic.
school circle. Take out your right in the rain.
I got my note taking gear.
There you go. And so we'll throw some facts out about BW, and then just do a little impromptu 10-second, however long you want to go for, honestly, ad read.
Okay.
And then the best make it on the infamous. What do we call it?
Soundboard.
Soundboard. We'll get you.
So like, let's give some facts. I'll give a couple. BW Tax is based in South Carolina, but regardless of where you live, he can do your taxes anywhere. Jordy.
When you call them, they will answer. You'll talk to a real person, not just some bot.
Biggie.
They're the tax professionals. They know the ins, the outs, all the red tape and like the obstacles that the government has put up to take your hard-earned money. And they're there to cut through that red tape and get you the best return possible.
Trey.
His name is BW. He's a great guy, but he's even better at taxes.
Do you need a little demo or do you feel like you got it?
Let's give her a demo.
Do we have a demo?
Let's give you a little demo.
Give me a demo.
Who should we do from the board? I'm gonna go
maybe
Matios.
Maybe 3.
Maybe is that Herbert?
I thought that was.
Oh, not Herbert.
Oh no, not Herbert.
The thing that I've always liked about
one.
BWTaxLLC.com is that they are a smaller company, and smaller companies care more. In general, there's not a hierarchy of people that are telling you, make more money from our clients. They want you to make money. That's why you use them, because when you use them, they're gonna give you the tools to get the most money back from the government that generally takes all of our stuff. But it's their mission. It's their job to get as much money back from the government and put it into the pockets of hardworking Americans.
So there's a little sample for you. So you get the idea.
Yeah. You have artistic freedom to take this wherever you want to.
Yeah.
There's no rules.
There's no rules.
Okay.
Three,
right.
2, 1,
Okay.
action. We have the music in later. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah, we'll make it sound cool.
All right. Based in South Carolina, but wherever you live, whether homeless or in a bougie house, VW Tax LLC will help you maintain and receive the money that you earn.
Oh,
I like it. I
love it.
That was good.
I love the tagline, homeless to bougie.
Love it.
Yeah,
I love
homeless
it.
to bougie.
That's their next phrase.
Do homeless people have to do taxes?
Oh, yeah.
they get them.
There's probably
Yeah,
they take
probably.
the box.
Yeah.
They take the box, dude.
But you know what I was just thinking?
Pete.
That was a
Yeah, go ahead.
perfect little or example to give, because I feel like Nova would have fit right in at CrossFit Havoc in Fort Sill.
Yes.
So that was Jim DeNofa,
Yes.
who used to
Oh,
run a
sure.
CrossFit gym that was in Lawton. And so many artillery
Okay.
officers, went through there. And I think you would have fit right in and literally vibed with that guy, because former
Probably.
power lifter turned weightlifter turned strongman that then got into CrossFit. So I definitely saw a lot of parallels
Oh, hell yeah.
between your two fitness
Yeah.
journeys.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, my
Yeah. Oh, that's super cool.
Coach Ward, I
my
like it. That's a good ring.
SPC's name was O'Connell, the new 111 Battalion commander, and
Oh,
and
yeah.
my gunnery instructor was Polka, and my fire instructor
Classic.
was Pegram. And so when I left TBS, O'Connell was like, "You will go to CrossFit Havoc, you will train with Jim DeNofa, and you will see Pegram there." And I was like, "What about this Polka guy?" And they were like, "Well, you might, if there's a unit event where everyone's building morale." He's like, "But Pegram will always be there." So Jeff and I were big timers there. It was Marine Corps flag. We signed it.
That's right.
And then Big Jim moved down to Florida. So he moved CrossFit Havoc from Lawton to Florida. But yeah, that was Jim, and great guy. He was an Army. What was his MOS?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Remember?
I actually don't know his MOS.
Yeah, we just call him Jim. Jim that owns the gym. But you crushed it.
Call him Jim.
That's a good 10-second clip.
Oh, yeah.
We'll put
Thank you.
We'll find some good music to put on that. And I think you did great.
Thanks.
All right, PJ,
Thanks,
plug
guys.
your media channels.
Yeah, give us your opportunity. Give us the plug. Where do we follow you? Where do we follow all the working out and the small dogs?
Yes. So I really only have one account. It's at Nova Sky. On Instagram, you will see me flailing around hopelessly doing CrossFit. So that's super entertaining for everyone. And then you will absolutely see lots of photos and videos of my tiny wiener dog, Archie, which, just
Love
makes
it.
everyone's day.
Yeah. And lots of good food. I kind of follow for the food.
Yeah, lots of good food.
Lots of good food.
Lots of good
That's
food.
wonderful.
Well, Nova, thanks.
For sure.
Thanks for being a guest of episode 031 of the
You'll
OK
have to come
podcast.
back.
Woo. Yeah, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong. You're the second female voice on the pod.
It's okay, I'll take
but
it.
you
I'll
only
take it.
lost to a 51-time world champion, Jen Thompson.
I will take
Yeah, if you
that.
don't follow her.
Top of the second half. You know what I'm saying?
Consistency.
You're welcome here anytime. Thanks for joining. We can't kick you out, so you just kind of have to leave. But
It's okay. I'll leave.
we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Oh, good dude.
Good dude.
I'd give her a good dudette, but I feel like she'd take offense. So good dude.
Good dude.
Yeah.
Good dude is agnostic of gender or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's just
Gender fluid.
It's just being a good dude.
Good dude.
We're super progressive that way.
Hell
Can
yeah.
you imagine that being your platoon commander and you're like an overweight 19-year-old that can't squat 135?
I would just be so ashamed.
I
I'd be
watched
so-
her.
like,
I watched
I
her at the
suck.
ball, 111 ball. maybe 2 years ago. And I was like, man, these Marines know that like any day she can just kick their butts. Like it was, yeah, she does a good job. I'm excited for her future as a Marine Corps officer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Good dude. Good dude. All right. What's left on the slide deck, Hefe?
I don't, did we make a slide? Was there a pin for this week's?
Yeah, there was. Trey wanted to talk about grip strength.
Oh, how did I not see this?
We don't talk about that.
Hey, go ahead, Trey.
Yeah, let's talk about grip strength.
I was at the gym today, right?
That's good. That's a good sign.
Was at the gym today. Did deadlifts.
What'd you pull?
Let's
turn this into amateur lifting update. Then we'll get
amateur lifting update. Got questions about taxes? Call BW.
Call BW.
Got a question about lifting? Call Grant.
Call Grant.
So yeah, amateur lifting question / update. Let me see what I started off, because I didn't want to make the same mistake as the squats and just going super heavy and then being sore for the following.
How was that
week.
soreness?
So, it was verified. I was very sore. Yeah. But so I went a little bit lighter. So I started off warming up, worked my way up to I think I did 325
for 5 in the deadlift.
Exactly. Yeah.
Lightweight, baby.
And I worked it up there, and then I realized as soon as I put it on, I don't have I usually use straps. I don't have straps. Man, this is going to see how my grip strength does. So I did one set of 5 on that. And then the second one, I was moving it, but it was just my grip strength was kind of giving out just because I was
using chalk.
No, I didn't see any chalk in it. I was at a
Tulsa
gym here, so that I didn't see any chalk there. So I was doing the hook grip and then just trying to move that. So I got two sets of 5 in, but I'm I don't think I'll be able to hold on to the next one. So I lowered it down and just did 3 more sets of 5, I think at 255. And just to do something. So wasn't moving super heavy, but just better than nothing, right? And so I don't know. I feel like as far as grip strength goes, you're a fan of, who's it? Peter Attia.
Big fan.
Good dude. We'll get him on the
Good
podcast.
dude. He's next week.
Yeah, Peter Attia is coming on next week.
He's next week.
Yeah.
But I remember him. I watched an interview with him where he talked about grip strength and the correlation to longevity, right? And I don't know how he came up with this data. So I'm it might be important because I know it helps. It's a good, I think, barometer of what he said of just overall strength is how good your grip strength is. Are there guys, I guess, long way to go about this, who train in the deadlift, not using straps, just to kind of improve their grip strength going on with the other, all the other strength? Do you find that important or not really?
No, I think grip strength is important. What I think is that, and I'm going to sound like I'm regurgitating Peter Attia because I am, but his point in longevity for grip strength is that if you have a high grip strength, you live longer, but you don't live longer because you just improved your grip. You live longer because you've done things that have improved your grip. So there are guys that really work their grip, and most of those guys are going after freakish things like grab a rubber 45-pound plate, flip it and catch it, or all that kind of stuff. I just think if you get your deadlift up with your hands, you're good. And this is why I'm pro straps, but I'm not only straps, right? If you're a 200-pound man and you get to 225 in your deadlift, you need to hook grip. You need to hook grip your deadlift for a while, and then your thumbs hurt. And then as you get stronger, can you use some straps? Yes. If you're at the point where you're pulling what I would call volume deadlifts, multiple sets, hey, pull your first one with your hand and then pull your second 2 sets with straps. But I just think exactly what Dr. Attia said is hey, if you have a good grip strength, which is showing that your lifespan goes longer, it's not because you sat at your desk and squeezed things. It's because you lift heavy things, you work out, and like all these, like if you're deadlifting 400 pounds repeatedly, which results in a good grip strength, your body weight's probably not terrible. You're probably thinking about your sleep. You're probably paying attention to what you eat. And I know there's outliers like powerlifters that are way overweight, but even them, at least they're like working their heart and their muscles and like getting their strength up. So, I mean, I don't think that if you came to me at 50 years old and said, I want to live a long time, what should I do? I wouldn't say increase your grip strength. What I would say is, hey, you need to get stronger. And as a result of that, your grip strength is going to go up. And I think it's an interesting correlation of, hey, if your grip strength is really strong, it's probably because you've done a lot of things to make your entire body stronger, which has probably regulated your body fat, improved your heart health, and all that kind of stuff. So in your case, I would say get some chalk, right? Like that's probably all you needed. Or it sounded like you pulled 5 sets of deadlifts, right? You pulled 325 for 2 sets of 5, then 255 for 3 sets of 5. I would make the argument, pull that first set of 325 by 5 with your hands and then use straps, right? Or Tanner from Massonomics had a great thing where he was like, hey, my top set of 5, he's like, it's so heavy. It's, 600 pounds. I'll have my straps on for the first 4. And then I'll release the straps and hook grip and pull my 5th so that I know that I have that grip strength. But again, that's like kind of, not that he's extreme strength in terms of extreme, but that's kind of like out there. I just think like for most of my lifters that are intermediates on Wednesdays, they pull 3 sets of 5 deadlifts. The first set of 5, I'm like, pull it with your hands. Second 2 sets of 5, I'm like, pull it with straps. There's no point in your low back getting in a compromised position because your grip's giving out. We already know that you're strong. You just pulled 365 for 5 with your hands. Like we've already worked the grip because the thumbs can only take so much of a beating. But yeah, I wouldn't put the barometer for fitness as grip strength. I would say if you're strong, the grip strength is there.
Yeah, that's a correlation that I wouldn't even think to make between grip strength.
It's probably easy to test. It's probably easy to test in a lab. There's probably just practical considerations. Like you're not going to have them deadlift or squat in the lab as a case study. It's like, hey, grab this thing. That's so much easier just to do.
You're just giving handshakes.
So you would say that if someone wanted to improve their grip strength, you wouldn't even give them like grip work. You'd just be like, get your deadlift up.
Well, if someone came to me and said, I want to improve your grip strength, I would say, what's your deadlift?
Yeah.
And if they were 200 pounds and they told me their deadlift was 225, I'd say, get your deadlift up.
If it was 600, that's different.
If it was 600, I'd say, well, what are you trying to grip? Like, are you trying to lift a car? So I think if you just naturally progress your deadlift up and you're pressing and you're benching, all those things help. But like maybe the deadlift, chin ups, like your grip strength's gonna get better. Yeah.
Do you guys want to play a quick game? I brought props.
Yeah. I forgot about this.
Okay. I wish you guys were here. So
PJ tried to introduce this during the early show, and I was like, wait a minute.
We'll save it.
Trey has a question about grip. Yeah. Bring the props out.
Bring the props. So Grant's claim is that deadlifting heavy gets your grip strength better. I have grippers.
I'm gonna have to do it
here, and we're gonna test.
Wow.
To see how much that is true.
Bag of grippers.
I wish you guys were here, so I'll hold it up for the camera.
Was this a wedding gift for someone?
Nah, this was just me just being silly. Okay. It was just having fun.
We're going to start and work up.
This is going to be the 50-pound gripper. We'll see how far. What's your best deadlift? 575?
575.
All right.
Okay.
Crushed the 50 pounds. Not even a problem.
I don't like where this is going.
All right. So we got the 100 pound.
Hundos.
Big jumps.
I do love a good hundo.
Oh,
no problem.
Like nothing.
Keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
No,
where are these
China? So
where are these made? Grant, do not touch those. Do not touch those.
The jumps get better. This is 125.
My strength code plates are made in the USA.
Oh,
Crushed?
No problem.
All right.
Should we do the left hand on the next one?
You can do whatever you want. Whatever's best. 150.
150. Let's stay with the right hand. Hang on. Let me get better grip.
There we go.
Okay, a little tough.
What was the RP on that?
That was the RP.
That was the RP.
For the record, this was my best, so I got some work to do.
Okay. Well, what if our grip strength is same?
Oh, I hope not.
What do we got here?
175. This is where I tapped out.
I need got nervous. Sweating over here.
I think you got it. Was it touch? Yeah. All right. The big daddy over here.
200.
Oh, big daddy. Oh, is this the last one?
There's more, but this is all I have because
I'll try with my left hand first.
The fresh one.
Did you get it?
Nope. Didn't get it with the left hand. Let me try
Quite
with the
close,
right hand.
huh? He like extends his arm.
I feel like with chalk, I would get it. Okay.
with chalk, you got it.
So 185.
Yeah.
185.
185.
Okay. Nova's press.
Nova's press. I can squeeze Nova's press.
Okay. Perfect. That was fun. I just thought it was
good.
cool.
No, good game.
Interesting.
I saw those grippers. My friend had them and I was trying them out and I was like,
yeah, right.
I wonder
Just
what I
carry
can.
them around.
It's my EDC. But
Wait, I didn't get that.
EDC.
Everyday carry.
Everyday carry.
Oh,
Guys nerd out. Like, what's your EDC? Like, what do you carry it every day?
Yeah, what kind of flashlight you got there? What kind of blade you running there, bro?
Yeah, I have an O-Light right now.
I carry
but
Calhoun every day.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought it was fun
That
because
was
it's
good.
like,
I was kind of surprised I didn't get the 200.
yeah, me too. Maybe you're just sweaty.
I just need chalk. It is hot here.
Disappointed. Yeah.
I know Trey's hot. He's got his AC off.
So that's proof that deadlifts do carry over.
Yeah, at least enough to beat you.
At least
you
I got the
200.
I got the 150. I'm pretty sure. We'll see.
If you would have
you
gotten
got
200,
You get the
Peter Tia said
175
you
right
would've lived
now.
forever.
You're all hopped up on Beach Plum LaCroix,
Ooh, good flavor.
the silver one. He lost him.
175. Okay, I got to try 175.
Yeah, your hands are
Come on.
sweaty now, right?
Hands
Gotta
are
want it.
sweaty.
Hands are sweaty. Come here, cat.
Get after it.
You got it.
Let's go, PJ.
So close. Oh, I think you got it.
You gotta want it.
I think I was like a
gotta want
millimeter
it.
away. I'm dizzy. All right, chalk. I'll just say chalk.
Any save rounds or alibis?
California weather is very nice. Verified
Undefeated.
that this last weekend.
Hey, this is your new home.
That's the new home.
Yeah. So Big
November
Jeff took
battery.
command Nacho Battery 514. How you feeling?
Pretty excited. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah, good group. Good group.
Save rounds, PJ?
I don't think so. I was in Miami this last week.
Ooh, Miami.
Have you guys been there before?
I've just listened to the Will Smith song.
Yeah, I had to give it a listen.
California, here we come. Oh, no.
Nope.
Yeah, that's it.
It was in Star Wars. I remember that one. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Miami's cool. We were basically in the same place that we were when Grant visited. Got to see the water. Went to the beach one morning. That was good.
Nice.
Everyone's more in shape in Miami than South Carolina. That's pretty noticeable.
Everyone's more in shape in a lot of places than South Carolina.
It's a low bar, but it was cool, man. It was good. Got to hang out, but I'll just
But they're
say
not as friendly.
not even close, man. And then when they're not friendly to you, they tell you something rude in Spanish, so you don't even know how you're being insulted.
I could throw a couple Spanish insults, but I know my brothers-in-law listen to this, so they wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Oh, I got a good one for you, Jeff. Jeff, this will be perfect. You don't speak Spanish, right?
No.
Okay, spell socks as fast as you can. As fast as you can. Just go.
SOCKS.
Now you're speaking Spanish. SOCKS. Never gets old. Never gets old. You can't speak
That was
Spanish. SOCKS, which basically means like,
SOCKS?
what is that?
oh wow, I didn't know that.
SOCKS? Yeah.
That's a fun trick.
See, it's a good one.
That's a fun trick.
SOCKS?
Yeah, just say it to the battery.
One of my favorite ones was if you say this is how you have an Australian accent. So
Raise her blades.
if you say rise,
Rise up.
lights,
Rise up.
Rise up.
lights.
Fast.
That's how you say razor blades in Australian.
Rise up lights.
Rise up lights.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Then when like say it's like I think it's Jamaican accent. Say beer can,
Yeah.
Beer can.
but it's like
It's-
that's bacon.
Beer can in a
Beer
British
can.
accent. It's beer.
Oh,
it's
yeah, I
beer
can't
can in
remember
a
what it
British
is.
accent. Beer can.
Beer can.
Beer
Yeah, it's
can.
bacon.
There you
Beer
go.
can.
It's bacon.
That's a good little reel
Jamaican.
right there.
Yeah.
Foreign languages. How do you say
Yeah.
okay in Spanish?
Así, así.
Sí.
Eso sí que es.
Eso sí que es.
Eso sí que es.
Razor blades.
Así,
Más o
así.
menos.
Más o
Así, así.
menos.
Más o menos. That's my favorite. Trey, take us down for a landing.
What episode are we on?
031.
031. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Listen to the.
Okay.
I'd like to thank our guest, Nova. Great talk, great conversation.
Good dude.
Can't come back
dude.
soon enough. Glad you made the time for us. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank our sponsors, BW, keeping the lights on as always. Great man, better at taxes. Go to www.theokpodcast.com. Find all of our links there for our social media. Like, subscribe on the YouTube. Leave a comment so we can interact with you. Go down to the show notes below. You'll see the, we got the, whatchamacallit? What am I thinking?
Slack channel.
There, that's the word I'm looking for. The Slack channel. Love to see you there. Other than that, we all have our individual social media accounts, and we all
That
know
everyone
what they
knows.
are. Yeah, that everyone knows.
If you're really looking for a personal, individualized, highly active Instagram account by one of the hosts, check out @BigEJP. You want to talk about an active account? I can't even keep up with the guy. The stories are just like tick, 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 tick.
He's
boom.
live right now.
He's live. I had to get a second phone just for following Biggie JP. It was too many notifications.
So many.
I couldn't handle
posts.
it. Yeah.
Try to do one every minute on the minute. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's good.
Mom. Nova would
man.
respect that.
Hey, Mom.
That's all I got, Coach. Do we miss anything?
No, that's good. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.